Today, we are going to be talking about the Secure Act 2.0, right?
That's right.
Now, this is a law that is languished the right word, but as of December, it passed.
That's right.
Correct?
So it was.
It passed, the president signed it into law.
That's right. And it was included in the Consolidated Appropriations Act.
Right. So the question is, why are we talking about it, right? I know you said before we started rolling, that's what we say in the biz, in the business.
In the biz.
Yeah, in the tax and accounting entertainment business, rolling. You said that you had 5 things, maybe fewer, more.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a lot of information in the Secure 2.0.
Right.
We can't cover all the things.
Right.
But we did want to pull a few of the things that we thought were really important for people to know in this video. Okay, so we'll start with the age for required minimum distributions has increased.
Right.
So I don't know if you remember with Secure 1.0,
right,
which is what we're calling it now, that there's a 2.0.
Right.
It had increased the age from 70 and a half to 72.
Okay. And that's the age for required minimum distributions.
Right.
RMDs for those of you in the business.
In the biz.
in the biz, right.
So now that's been increased from 72 to 73, and that's effective January 1, 2023.
And of course, that's the age at which you are required to start taking distributions. So that crept up a bit with the original Secure Act, Secure 1.0.
Right.
And with Secure 2.0 has crept up to, what's that again?
73.
73. And that is effective as of?
23.
Okay. So effective?
73, effective 23.
Effective 23. Okay. Great.
So let's talk about another increase, though.
Okay.
It's not coming for a while. It's effective January 1, 2033.
So in 10 years. 10 years after the change to 73, it's going to go to?
75.
75. But that's in 10 years.
It's in 10 years.
Okay. So, I mean, what this effectively does is it lets people put off those required distributions because, I mean, stating the obvious, on average, people are living longer. So this is reflecting that, and it does give people more flexibility, obviously, in being able to put off taking distributions.
That's right. So what it really means is they are able to earn money tax-free for longer.
For longer, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, great. So that's a big deal, but that's not the only big thing, right?
Right. There is the QCD.
Yep.
Which is we're going to throw around a lot of acronyms.
And I'm in fact not reading it just off screen as you talk about it.
I know you're not. Which is a qualified charitable distribution.
Yep.
And this has been in law already. Taxpayers could take up to $100,000 of their required minimum distribution and contribute it to charity.
But it was just a fixed amount, right?
That's
It wasn't changing.
That's right.
With the I word, inflation.
Right. Everybody's talking about inflation.
Everybody's talking about it.
So now that $100,000 will be adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
And then there's another change related to qualified charitable distributions.
This is let me see if I get this right, the new one-time $50,000 qualified charitable distribution?
It is.
Tell us about that.
So this would allow taxpayers to make, as you just said, a one-time QCD of $50,000.
I'm assuming it's up to $50,000.
Right, up to. And one thing I want to point out about the QCD is the age that you're allowed to use your RMD for a QCD. Got me?
This is too much.
It was 70 and a half before Secure 1.0.
Right.
Even though Secure 1.0 and now Secure 2.0 have increased that required minimum distribution age, you can still make your qualified charitable distribution beginning at age 70 and a half.
Okay.
So they did not raise that age.
Got it. Okay, so this is something else that I am aware of this. It's the way that the rollover to a Roth from a 529 works, right?
That's right.
So what does this change look like?
Okay, so there are some increased benefits related just to education.
Yeah.
You know, I think for a while when we have talked to clients about contributing to 529 plans,
Right.
one of the fears is, what if I can't use all the money for qualified education expenses?
Yeah.
And what sorts of penalties will they have to pay
Right.
if they don't?
Right.
Because now there's a new provision that permits some beneficiaries to roll over
Yep.
up to $35,000 to a Roth IRA.
Okay.
So, without taking the money out
Right.
and paying taxes on earnings,
Right.
can just roll that right into a Roth IRA account.
Okay, great. And that's the benefit of that is obvious. Like you said, if turns out you're not going to use all of that for education, you can roll it over.
That's right.
Okay.
So no taxes or penalties. There are some specific rules related to the accounts, of
I'm
course.
looking at those.
So the 529 plan must be in existence for at least 15 years.
Yep.
And then there are some limitations on contributions made within the last 5 years.
Right.
Those are ineligible to be rolled over. So there's a little bit of a waiting period before you can,
Right.
just roll it right into a Roth IRA. But by
Right.
then you should know
Sure.
that you are finished paying for education expenses with that account.
Yeah, but to your point, the rules are such that you can't say, well, I opened this last year, and gosh, I wish I hadn't, and just immediately roll that into a
Right.
Roth.
That's right. Yeah. So also related to education benefits, starting next year in 2024, employers can choose to match student loan payments with contributions to an employee's retirement plan.
Okay.
So basically, if you have an employee that is paying off student loans and not contributing to their retirement account,
Right.
you can match. So similar to what you would match if they were contributing to their retirement plan.
Right.
That's another education
Okay.
benefit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is one that I've heard a little bit of noise about. It's the sort of thing that you don't want to ever have to use.
Right.
But if you do, it is now there. This has to do with, I guess, federal disaster areas, and that is capitalized. Those are declared federal disaster areas, right?
That's right. This is only for federally declared disaster areas.
Right.
You can take up to $22,000 without a 10% early withdrawal penalty. And then you have the 3 years to repay it to avoid income tax. So just maybe a couple of things that were not included in Secure 2.0.
Yeah.
Because we did hear so much about 2.0 for so long.
Right.
There were things that were in there that at one time that were in the draft originally that didn't actually make it into the law that was passed.
Right.
And we've already mentioned one of those things, and that is the minimum age for QCDs was unchanged, so that's still 70 and a half.
Right.
There was no change on the limitations of Roth IRA conversions.
Which you say that almost like there's almost a little surprise in your voice. Did you expect they were that they might address that?
Yeah, there was some language in there at one time, or at least in a draft at some point.
Right, at some point.
Like we talked about, this has been going on for a while.
Right, okay.
Backdoor Roth IRAs was another big topic that we heard a lot about, possibly being eliminated.
Yeah. But they didn't do it.
Yeah, it's not addressed at all.
Yeah, so you can still do a backdoor Roth.
You can still do that. That's right.
And I'm actually a little surprised myself, but yep, it's still there.
Yep. No new restrictions on qualified small business stock. That was something
Glad
that
to
they
see
had
that.
talked about as well, and
Yeah.
so that is still applicable.
Yeah, to meet the definitions, which we're not going to sit here and talk about now, of qualified small business stock, it's very specific. It is a pretty small needle you've got to thread, but it can be very beneficial for folks that do meet the requirements. And yeah, that's still there.
Yeah, there are so many provisions in
Right.
Secure 2.0 that we didn't even talk about today, but that are important.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to pick a handful to sort of tell everybody about.
So to sum up, does anything that we talked about constitute tax or legal advice?
Oh, no.
It does not. And why is that?
You should always talk to your tax advisor.
Right, because your situation is what? Fact dependent?
Fact dependent.
Right. So always talk to your advisor. This is not advice, it's just general information. Maybe there's something here that's made you think, hey, I need to talk to my advisor, be that your investment advisor, your CPA, your attorney, or some combination of all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do need to talk to somebody new for any reason, you hopefully know where to find us. So is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Thanks a lot, and we will talk to you next time.